I'm Sarah Cowgill, along with Andrew Moran, Kelly Ballard, Dave Patterson, and Scott Cosenza. And this is the Conservative Five, Liberty Nation's online TV news program. Labor unions have long held a chokehold on the Democratic Party. Then along came Trump, and his brash style and promises to do right for labor from sea to shining sea gives the unions an option to break up with Biden heading into 2024. Former President Donald Trump is heading to Detroit to rally United Auto Workers striking against Ford Motors. All the while, his competitors for the GOP presidential contest are in Simi Valley for the second debate. It appears as if Trump is adapting the adage, killing two birds with one stone, to campaign 2024. And now I see the crease in Dave's forehead, so I'm guessing he's onto something here. Mr. Patterson, have at it.
Well, you know, Sarah, labor unions and politics have been kind of bedfellows for a really long time. I know you don't remember this, but in 1940, John L. Lewis, who was at that time the president of the CIO, Congress of Industrial Organizations, said definitively that if Franklin Delano Roosevelt were elected, he would resign. And Roosevelt was elected and he resigned. But I think that for Donald Trump, this is politically a really great strategy. Because first of all, like the first debate, you know, Trump is not on the defensive, batting away the innuendo criticisms of those on the stage. And, you know, blue collar workers have not only the platform, but also the cause. You know, Trump really did address blue collar workers' issues, and he's going to be doing it in real time this time. And it puts a shot right across the Dems' bow. They don't like Biden's electrical vehicle policy that will destroy auto workers' jobs. They don't like the high prices that Biden has given them for gas, bread, eggs, and just about any other staple that blue collars and the working class need desperately. And, you know, this strike is not going to be limited just to the big three, Ford, GM, and Stellantis. It's actually starting to migrate to other places, and it could expand more quickly. For example, there are 190 UAW workers in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, a plant that provides axles for Mercedes-Benz Group, and they're on strike. And additionally, the Stellantis Group has made plans to lay off 300 workers in Ohio and Indiana because of this strike. I think that Trump has the ear of the labor now, as he has in the past. I mean, after all, he did bring back jobs from Mexico when he was president, and he has been to East Palestine, Ohio, whereas Biden has yet to go. So if you look
Hey,
at this,
Dave, they're working on that trip. Don't make it out like they're not. They've been scheduling that for a while, buddy.
I understand, and as the, you know, the president excuses himself, you know, he's got a lot on his plate. I mean, he's going to be like going around the world, for example, to India and Vietnam. But what this
He's just around sitting around writing checks to Ukraine, isn't he? Isn't that what he does all day?
Well,
write another check to Ukraine.
Well, he does, and you know, Zelensky is quite happy about that. But you know, we're getting back to, you know, the union, the UAW. President of the union, Sean Fain, has got himself into a bit of a corner here. And he keeps talking about billionaires and getting rich off the sweat of workers, enriching themselves like Donald Trump at the expense of workers. But at the same time, he's got a problem in that where are the Bidens and the Harrises and the other elite progressives visiting striking workers? They're absent.
Well, I mean, don't they just think they already have the automatic vote? Andrew, what were you going to say?
Sorry, Sean Fain, he said pretty much that he doesn't want the administration involved. He said this is between the big three and the UAW. Biden, he also canceled a couple of administration officials heading to Detroit. Last week, he announced that it was two were dispatched to Detroit. Now he says they're not going. What's funny about the UAW is that it's the only major union yet to endorse Joe Biden. But at the same time, Sean Fain has said that a second Trump presidency would be a disaster. I think that there are a couple of stories here involved, but and if you want to talk about the politics of labor, it's funny how the America First Republicans have gone on the side of unions. I think it was Senator J.D. Vance. He's the Ohio senator. He's America First. He's pro-Trump. And he came really on the side of the striking workers, saying that they've, quote, they took it on the chin during the industry's crisis 15 years ago and deserve to get their end of the shake. Now, the UAW keeps talking about all the profits that these companies made. Now, there are many issues just alone with the economics of it. Ford, for example, lost $2 billion. Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford, said that if they were to concede to all of UAW's demands, they would have to go into bankruptcy. That company is poorly run, had to slow down its EV efforts. I think politically also, this is a disaster for Biden and Bidenomics because he's so obsessed with the EV push. And that's something Trump has been tapping into on Truth Social, talking about EVs would destroy auto workers. And that's what auto workers have been worried about, of how not only would they lose jobs, if they were to work in, let's say, these electric vehicle factories, the battery manufacturing itself is either non-union or it's low pay. So I think Trump and the America First Republicans are tapping into that union vote, and considering how Trump is holding a rally instead of a debate, that's how far the GOP has come under the billionaire that Sean Fain does not like.
Kelly, do you think this is the right strategy for Trump? I mean, it's labor likes Democrats. They just do. And I don't know if him holding a party for these guys is really the right way to go. What do you think?
I think it is, because right now, if you were to go to the GOP debates, I think it would just be a bunch of, like they usually are, arguing. Whereas here, he's going and he's reaching out to a section that is really concerned about the electric vehicle move. I mean, right now, the nation can't really sustain a full everyone go electric vehicles. We have brownouts. We have, they like where my son lives in California, they shut down their power for days at a time just to conserve energy. Yet, California wants to go all electric. And then I want to throw this little tidbit in. Didn't Biden a couple of years ago, wasn't he at some union where one of the workers asked him a question? He said, "I don't work for you," or what was that? Do you remember that?
That's typical.
There was a union member that vigorously challenged Biden on gun control at a factory, and I think that might be what you're talking about. And he was shuffled away and dismissed. The union leaders care about as much as what their membership thinks as who they should vote for, as what the CEO of McDonald's cares about, what a drive-through worker thinks the burger should taste like. It's not a consideration. They make the deal and then impose, right, the conditions.
But all this consequence, I recently did a Swampanomics TV about this, and this is all the consequence of what? Biden inflation or price inflation itself. You're seeing labor strife all over the country. Railroad workers, writers and actors in Hollywood, airline pilots, all these people are striking because the cost of living is too high. Now, are the demands that UAW is presenting egregious? Of course, they're too sky high. I mean, I think it was Morgan Stanley. They released an estimate saying how if all the demands are met, the UAW workers would be earning about $146 an hour. And now you compare that to Tesla workers are making an average of $45 an hour. So not only would these companies go bankrupt.
Andrew, I'm going to interrupt here because you said something, and I have to quarrel with the way you said it. You said the cost of living is too high because Biden made the money worthless. That's what happened. Yeah. It's not the cost of living all of a sudden became too high. Like, how did that happen? It's because Biden and his allies made our money worthless. That's why everybody who had a
You're preaching to the choir, Scott. I know. Running years.
I do think that Scott brought up something that we can expand on a little bit, and that is there is virtually no relationship between the leadership of the international unions and the rank and file. During Reagan's administration and during Nixon's administration, the leadership, the international, vehemently were against those candidates, but the rank and file elected them. And that's where I think Trump has got his act together, going to the rank and file. They're the ones who vote in mass.
I don't disagree. I can't disagree, but I'm not sure we all agreed. But, it is typical of Trump to troll his own folks, the GOP people. But will that have the desired effect? And I don't know if it will or not. He doesn't get any good press, but he does suck all the air out of the room. And if we can't decide, I don't think anybody's going to decide for a while. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks, panel. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform, YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble. We're on them all. And Liberty Nation has its own Roku channel where you can see all of our television productions. I'm Sarah Cowgill. Thank you for joining us today for Free Thinking, Free Speech, LibertyNation.com.
Don't get caught up in the media madness. Join our movement for free thinking and free speech at LibertyNation.com. Publishing news and analysis 24/7 with original articles by our team of authors who tell it like it is. Join us each week for online TV shows, The Uprising Podcast, and Liberty Nation Radio. We believe in free thinking and free speech. We are LibertyNation.com.